Morning, we're just down Borrowdale where we've just left Stonethwaite. Today we're going to do a round of Eagle Crag, Sergeant's Crag and Lining Crag. Me, Tracy, Essex Girl in a Wild.
Hi.
And our lad, Billy the Rockstar. So leaving the village, we're just heading down into Greenup Gill in the direction of Langstrath. And that's Eagle Crag straight in front of us now. So you can now see Sergeant Crag behind Eagle Crag there. So this little gate here to our right that takes you over to the bridge down there would take you into the valley of Langstrath, but we're not heading that way. We're going to pass the gate and head up into Greenup Gill. So there's Eagle Crag, and that route there up the wall would take you up via the terraces, but we're not going to go that way. We're going to go round Eagle Crag and up the other side. Some nice swimming pools and waterfalls on the way up Greenup Gill. The route slowly ascends up the gill nice and gradually till we get to that point there. You can just see Lining Crag in the middle of it, and then we'll find a footpath that takes us somewhere up there onto Eagle Crag. So as we get a bit closer to Lining Crag, we're going to head through these moraines. These moraines could be confused as being man-made, but they're actual deposits left from the melting glacier during the Ice Age. Once we get past there, we'll then find our path heading up that direction to Eagle Crag, which is now almost behind us. We need to drop off the main path and cross the beck here, and our paths up that shoulder there. Once over the river, head up this very sketchy looking clearing through the bracken, and it'll take us beyond this hard ground and onto the summit ridge. It's clear and it's just grass so far. Hopefully we don't hit that bracken before we hit the ridge. It looks quite clear all the way up this shoulder. In fact, there is what I think looks like a very, very faint path. It's not on the map, but once you get over the river, it's easy enough to get up. We're on a decent path now. Like I said, it's not on the map, but it's definitely there on the ground. You know, this is a lot easier than up the terraces. I think there's a stile up here as well, but I can't really remember what it's like. Keep heading in the direction of the wall. We're getting a bit closer now to Eagle Crag, and I think that stile is up here. Here we are. It is a little bit tricky for the dog as it's got like a bar across the top of it, and it's quite high from the other side, so I'm going to go over first and stop Billy jumping down. It's a little bit high for him, so I'll make sure he gets down carefully.
So there's a bar over the top, so you can't just...
Stay there, stay there, stay there.
It's really tricky. You've got a nice view. Whoa, careful. Oh, that's tricky. I don't know how I managed to do that on my own.
Tricky. Yeah, it really is a tough style for dogs, that one, so just be very aware of that if you've got a big dog. Once you get over the stile, there's a little bit of a step here to climb up. Once again, we're going to have to give Billy a little hand. Good boy. Eagle Crag summit, 525 metres. It's a Birkett and a Wainwright, and this big slab of rock is the summit. There we are. On the end here we've got Bessie Boot, we've got the valley of Langstrath below us, we've got Gladamara in the foreground, and then at the end of Gladamara we've got S-Pike and Bow Fell, and right in front of us we've got Sergeant Crag, where we're going to head next.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, so you do have to come back down the bad step, but thankfully we don't have to go back over the bad stile, which is just there. The path continues along on this side of the wall up to Sergeant's Crag. So Billy must have got back down that bad step all right. He was in front of us, and when we got to it he was down. I don't like him jumping off walls and stiles. If there's ever an easy way for a dog to hurt himself, it's jumping and running. Don't like him running on hard ground either. Just ain't good. Plod away like he does and he gets anywhere. You've seen how skinny them long legs are of his. If one of them snapped, I'd be in trouble. I'd have 30 kilos to carry off the fell with me, as well as my own bag. That wouldn't be very nice. It's easy to keep track of your own safety and watch what you're doing yourself, but you really do have to look after your dog as well, you know. Some dogs are daft, but thankfully this one has half a brain. Or should I say probably more of a brain than we have. We got a nice clear path all the way to Sergeant's Crag now. We're almost up Sergeant's Crag now. There's Eagle Crag below us. Sergeant Crag's summit, 571 metres. It's a Wainwright and a Birkett, and the summit is just here, bit like Eagle Crag, big flat rocks on the summit, just there. A cracking little summit pinnacle, look at that. 4 or 5 rocks on the top of it to mark the summit. There you go. And there's a rock star. Bit of wind blowing in now. Got that raggy northwesterly wind again. And just look at the view from up here. Down Borodale, across to Skidder in the distance, and Blencathra. So from Sergeant's Crag we're going to traverse our way all the way around to Lining Crag, underneath High Raise, which is straight ahead of us there. So we've got another really awkward dog style here with 2 bars on the top of this one. Billy came over here, he jumped over the wall, it wasn't too high. That would have been a struggle for a dog. So this is a new path to me. I've never actually been on this path round from Sergeant's Crag to Lining Crag. I've done all the fells, but I think we've just done them separately in small walks. So this is a new route. So yeah, it's all new. I'm not sure whether we go below them crags, below High Raise, or above them, but we'll soon find out. So the path does traverse underneath the big crag there, below Low White Stones and High Raise. You could incorporate High Raise as the path goes above the crag as well, but we ain't doing High Raise, so we're going to follow this sketchy traverse path because it looks interesting underneath these crags. The crag itself lives up to its name. It's called Long Crag, and like I say, it's right underneath Low White Stones and High Raise. Lining Crag's over there, so we've got to somehow work our way around this traverse to get there. We got a very good shot of our route behind us now. Eagle Crag first, and then Sergeant's Crag. So this path doesn't even exist on the Ordnance Survey map, but it does exist on another map that I use on my digital mapping. Locust Maps is the app that I use, and there's a map on there called All of Great Britain that I downloaded, and it has a lot of footpaths that aren't on the Ordnance Survey map. The map itself isn't as detailed, but the paths are very, very defined, and they're generally always correct. So I use it quite a lot when I don't know where things are on the Ordnance Survey map. Look at Long Crag, absolutely impressive. It's a lovely path. It's also cut out a chunk of ascent going up above the crag, because it's going to come out somewhere lower down, more direct in the line of Lining Crag. There you go, we're back on the main path from High Raise up to Ullscarth. It's all been laid with flags now. It's quite new, this path. We've got a grotty old shower of rain come in. This is all very impressive, this path. It's more like Yorkshire or the Pennines. So this path, which is completely new to me, these new flags look as though they run all the way down to Lining Crag. Well, they actually stop here. Spoke too soon. So that's Lining Crag right below us. It's not a Wainwright, it's a Birkett. It's also our route down back into Greenup Gill. Lining Crag, 542 metres. It's a Birkett. the path drops down and then back through the moraines and back onto the path we started on this morning. So we're almost back down to the path that we left early this morning to go up Eagle Crag, which is just there. I'm going to wrap my video up and say thank you for watching. The walk was about 8 miles in total by the time we get back to the car. So yeah, thank you from me.
Thank you from me, and bye.
And then thank you from Billy, who's just up there ahead of us. From the village of Stonethwaite we head alongside Stonethwaite Beck. Passing the valley of Langstrath we dropped into Greenup Gill. Heading down the valley of Greenup Gill, passing Eagle Crag, we started to ascend from the back. Reaching the summit of Eagle Crag we dropped down into the col to the summit of Sergeant's Crag. Dropping back down into the col and underneath Long Crag we then drop down to Lining Crag. From Lining Crag we drop back down into Greenup Gill and then retraced our tracks back to Stonethwaite and the car.